It's okay not to know again. Feeling in the dark, crawling till I walk. Each time that I fall, divine remembering. Holding on too tight, trying till I might tire from the fight. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Safe to surrender now. Safe to remember how. Safe to surrender now. Safe to remember how. I release what is not meant for me. I believe what's meant for me will be for me. Feeling in the dark, crawling till I walk. Each time that I fall, divine remembering. Holding on too tight, trying till I might tire from the fight. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Divine surrendering. Oh, take me back home again. Oh, I'm walking alone again.
Evening, everybody. We all right? Nice to see you. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Anita. Hi, Joy. Hi, Eleanor. Thank you for your wisdom today about the spoon. I did not know that. Great. Tracy. Lovely to see everyone. Brilliant. We all okay? How's the habits going? Yeah? The tongue scraping might not be such of a nice one. you might not like this one quite so much. Change that a bit. What's this music like? Is it quite loud, or can you hear me? Is it about right? Yeah. Lovely. Great stuff. Happy new moon. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Helen. Hi, Deborah. I don't know which Deborah that is. Can't see you. All right, Helen. Nice to see you. Hi, Ray. Right, I'm just going to change this music because it's too wordy at the minute. I want to settle in a bit. So I'm going to just turn it off. So, welcome everyone. Hi, Kat. Hi, Ree. Ree, are you still in Gloucester? I thought you'd moved. Still there? Yeah.
Yeah, just here another week, love. Move hopefully and beginning of Feb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice time to move as well. That's great.
In bulk, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a good time. Good
Where
time
are
to
you
move.
living?
Just to
right?
Wells.
Oh, okay. Not too far away then.
Gorgeous. Hi, Beth Ann. Hi, Julie and Sarah's just coming in. So I've got a nice evening tonight. It's a few little things I want to go into tonight because we've got a few. Oh, it's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. I'm not sure which Tracy it was. Hi, Sarah. Oh, that's Sarah. That's a different Sarah too. I thought it was as well. Lovely. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a settling. Got a few things I want to share tonight, and part of that is because we're kind of in this sort of halfway point now between. So this new moon is the last new moon before the fire horse energy comes in with the next new moon. So we've got this 4-week portal where if there's any shit to let go of, this is the time to do it. And so I thought hi Julie. So I thought we'd do a little session tonight about that. And I want to do a little bit about the new moon. And I'm going to do a little bit about fire horse. And I want to do a little bit about darkness, shadow, because I think it's a piece that often is really missed out, and it is where we often find our greatest gifts. And so new moon can often be this time where we kind of land into this place of, it's all about like setting new intentions, and it's this, it's all this stuff about new. But for me, new moon's quite dark time. And I always like this bit because for me, and not everyone's the same, and I'm aware of that. Some people love new moon, they're right full of energy and stuff. I tend to want to just tell everyone to fuck off and just go in my little cave, and that's usually my new moon vibes. And why I like to do that is because it's quite a nice time just to reflect on what is present. I've had a couple of things have come up this week for me, which has been so nice just to have a bit of space to kind of work with that and work through it myself as well. So so I just wanted to kind of bring that, but also what I'd like us to feel into as well tonight is this idea of the mat being the altar, so that our yoga mat can become altar where we do our work. So we're not bypassing, we're not leapfrogging, we're not, diverting away from the shadow stuff. We give ourselves an opportunity to be vulnerable, to be, however we are, and be okay with that. So we're going to lean into some of the tools that we can work with, not to get rid of shadow, because I don't believe we'll ever be, that's not where we want to be. If we have light, we've got shadow, it is the law. And so we can have a little bit of looking in this little portal, this little threshold of, in our personal development work, of kind of what am I, what are the old stories, what is the old stuff that I'm really ready to be kind of done with now. So we're going to go into a little session working with Samana Vayu, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. And we've also got this idea of tongue scraping. Now I'm going to go into tongue scraping on a physical level and why it does what it does, but I also want to go into it on a spiritual level, as I always love that bit. So there's more to it than just clearing the toxins, clearing the ama. There's more to it, and the tongue can show us like so much about where we're at. So we're going to do a little bit on that. So I'm going to start off by lighting a candle, and again, you can all do this, but those of you that practice yoga regularly, I quite like this idea of the mat being this altar. So when we step on there, it is like this sacred space that is the altar of, for ourselves, for our whole self, all of us, all the light, all the shadow, all of the bits of ourselves to step into. So I'm lighting this for all of us. all of you and for all of the collective and anyone who needs some light, because we are in that time of year now where it might feel a bit heavy. I don't know about anyone else. It can feel a bit heavy now. It's like, yeah, like I'm solar powered. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a solar bunny. I love the sun. And now I'm getting like, right, I'm getting pissed off with this now. Like, I'm ready for some sun. It's been so great today. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about the season, because we're actually still a little bit actually in Vata season now. We've not quite shifted into Kapha yet, but actually I felt like last year, I don't know about anybody else, like we seem to be a month ahead everywhere. So like everything seemed to come a bit of a month early. So it feels a bit like Kapha's kind of arrived, but it's a little bit early yet. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So let's just land in, and I'm going to start us and open up with a reading from, again, Megan Watterson's book, Magdalene Revealed. And it's a little, I had a little bit of a tweak to it, but I just want to share this because it is about darkness. So we're going to just really connect to our belly today, our bellies of wisdom. So you can start off with your hands on your belly. If you've has everyone been having the turmeric milk at night? Like I've just had mine. It's like divine. With the actual turmeric root, have you all done it with that? Oh my God, it's so nice. It's amazing how strong it is actually. You know, just one tiny piece. So yeah, anyway, coming back to that. So we're going to just bring your hands to your belly in any way that feels good. And you can just give your belly a little rub if you want to as well. So we're going to be really connecting into the belly and then into a little bit of this new moon threshold. Our theme for the week is clear what stagnates, gently, lovingly, and without extremes. So just gently closing your eyes and just been a moment just to land in. And just taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, and you can just release that breath through your mouth. And as you release it through the mouth, just feel that like your whole self just lands and it just arrives here in this moment. So just begin to release from the day all of the spaces where we've put our energy today. And again, we just allow ourselves to really land into this space of darkness and how that feels for you to be in the dark. And it can feel a bit scary sometimes, but just allowing ourselves to enter in as we close our eyes. Hi, Layla in the jungle. And again, just really allowing yourself to relax a little. So we're going to just scan through the body a little. So if we just bring our awareness to our eyes and our head and our face and our mind and all of that buzzy energy around the head. And just taking a nice deep breath in. And again, as you breathe out, we can just again allow the face and the mind to just drop a little bit. It's relaxing the jaw. And then bringing our awareness into the neck, around the throat. And then just taking the awareness just to the back of the head, the back of the neck. And then if you want to just roll your head a little bit, you can do that just to relax and release any tension, just in that embodied movement. Just have a feel into your neck. How is she feeling today? And then just bringing your awareness down through the back body. Again, just imagining that waterfall just flowing down the spine, right down the back. Again, just letting the shoulder blades drop. The shoulders can drop as well. The arms can get a bit heavier. And just bringing awareness to the belly. Again, just feeling the breath as it moves in the belly. Each out breath, just allowing that out breath just to call us down and in, just pulling our attention away from all of the busyness and just bring it all the way down and in. Just feeling the belly expand and release, and just being aware of the hips, the legs, the feet, and that lovely connection to earth. And then as we allow our awareness to drop down through the seat, through the floor, through the foundations, and just allow our energetic roots to begin to just weave their way down into the soil and deeper down through layers of rock and stone. And allow your roots again just to wind down deeper through sacred caves, sacred waters, and all the way down to the heart of this beautiful earth that we get to live on. You might like to imagine the heart of Mother Earth as a red crystal, and just allow your root, your life thread, just to wrap around that jewel, so that you feel that connection, that lovely magnetic energy just drawing you down. Just imagine yourself a bit like a plant or a tree, just rooted down into earth. Just letting your weight drop, just allowing the earth to support you. The earth will never drop you and she will never let you down. We just allow ourselves to land here, just in presence. And then you might like to just inquire a little bit, where in my inner world am I holding residue? Just any residue from the day, you can just begin to release down through the roots, back down into earth. Earth will compost anything that we're ready to let go of. So just using that out breath to allow any old residue just to release down through that root. If the word release doesn't work, I'm loving the word surrender at the moment. So just allowing anything that's ready to go, just let it surrender down and down, down deep into that root, down into the earth. And again, just feeling as you meet yourself here in this moment, however you meet yourself here, allow it to be loving and gentle. There's no extremes here. This is feminine form. We just allow and invite our nervous systems to calm, to steady, and just to bring that sense of ease. And as we enter into this dark moon phase, I just want to share this lovely reading from Megan Watterson, and it's called "The First Power is Darkness." If I could start over from the beginning, I would start with the most invisible, the threads in the web of our ecosystem that are rarely named, much less revered. I would start by listing the names of trees, the flowers, the seeds that carry the light that give us life. Because this is what we have forgotten. This is where our reverence has not yet reached. I would start with the honeybee and the sweet, essential nectar it feeds on. I would start first with the unnoticed, with what we haven't realised is the most sacred among us. I would start with the names of everyone we have excluded, the outsiders, the outcasts. I would start with everyone who thinks they are unworthy of love just as they are. I would say each of their names. I would speak the names of all the mothers who have known the unspeakable joy of gradually knitting life within her, of bringing life from the dark into the light. The mothers who remind us, no matter who we are, that our first country was a woman's body, and our first element was water, and our first reality was darkness. If I could write the beginning, it wouldn't be in the light, it would be in the belly, in the dark, in a cave, in an egg. If I could begin again, it would be with her love, because this is what's being forgotten, and this is what we most need to remember. So as we feel into that experience of dark, this beautiful dark moon, again, just allowing ourselves to arrive rooted, grounded in ourselves, this place that we call in Ayurveda Svasta, to be situated in who we are. Might like to just very gently begin to deepen your breath. And maybe just gently opening your eyes. And we'll bring ourselves back into our space. Are we all okay? You all feeling a bit grounded? Yeah, good. Lovely. So you might want to take some notes. I'll share a little bit of this stuff into the WhatsApp group as well. I'm just going to go into this new moon as a threshold. So meeting the shadow. So what I was saying earlier, we've got this like 4 weeks roughly portal now between where this old snake year is ending and this fire horse energy is going to be coming in. And this new moon that's just come in has been quite powerful. I don't know if anybody has noticed, if got any shadow stuff. Yeah, me too. Me too. Has anyone else had that this week? Like, oh wow, that little monster's come up again. That little gremlin's just jumped up again. Yeah, I really feel that this is again this portal, this threshold time where we can really address it with kindness, with gentleness, and with love. So as this new moon comes in, what I was saying earlier is, I feel that as much as the new moon is great for planting seeds and setting intentions and stuff, it is also a really beautiful time to address shadow stuff, because we can't leapfrog over it and we can't divert from it. It's great just to dig up those roots a little bit and just feel into what is that, and where does it come from? And so we're going to be kind of looking at in the ancient tradition, night and dark were not feared, although dark would be feared because of vulnerability in the dark. And so fire became actually one of the elements that would be the most potent element that would really support survival. And so we're going to go into that a little bit in a little while. So in darkness, seeds are sown. In silence, the truth speaks, and in stillness, the forgotten parts of the soul rise to be acknowledged. And that is really usually our shadow. So the shadow bits tend to be the little you inside that, maybe didn't get that approval or love or attention or, acknowledgement or whatever that was. So when we bring that to the table, and I like to speak this in like bringing it to the table as a little one, as a little you, bringing this insecurity, this vulnerability, whatever it is, to the table, to be seen, to be loved, to be integrated back in. This is the time I like to work with that part of me, that little one. So spiritually, the shadow is not darkness to be feared, but to be embraced. It is the concealed self waiting to be recognized, honored, and invited into wholeness. So we're going to bring all of this together with the tongue scraping. So the whole thing's going to come together. So it is the most tender work of all. So I'm going to give an example of what's just recently happened with my own, and how sometimes this little door can be opened and you can just see a part of yourself in her vulnerability. So I've been working a lot with nervous system myself and realizing when I'm dysregulated and when I'm regulated. And I've realized just recently when I get on the mat, I often am dysregulated when I get on there to teach. I get regulated while I'm there, but the period of time before getting on that mat, I'm quite dysregulated. I might have told you this story before. When I was young, probably about 8, maybe 9, I was bullied by a teacher, and the teacher used to make me stand on a chair and make me recite usually 8, 7, 9 times tables. The ones I didn't know, the ones I was, I was not good with numbers, and be completely ridiculed. What's just recently come up for me that I've just realised is every time I step on that mat to teach, I'm on the chair. It's very interesting. And so at the moment, I'm just working with that little me, the little one who stood on the chair and got ridiculed, with humming and tapping and, it's okay, you're not in trouble, it's safe to be seen, it's safe to be on the mat, you're not on the chair. So I'm just working with that a little bit myself. So that's kind of like a little door that was kind of, pushed open, and so I could see that self and see how that was, how that was dysregulating. Because as much as I love being on that mat and I love sharing what I love, I do have to go through quite a lot of dysregulation to get there. As much as it probably seems like, yeah, I just love doing it, I do once I'm there in it, I do get regulated once I'm there. So but what I've realised is that feeling has come from the little me that is still a little bit scared. Does that make sense? A little bit sense, yeah. So again, this period of time now is this time where we can bring those parts of us to the forefront, so that when this fire horse energy comes in, where they're ready, we can see ourselves and again love ourselves, integrate our little one with our adult self, and in that we can kind of show up a little bit more. So the new moon asks us what old stories, identities, or patterns are ready to be surrendered quietly and without force. So really, feminine form is about softness. It's not about I have to let this shit go. It's not that. It's not pushing. It's not forcing. Actually, when we release, when we surrender, that comes in softness, not through force. So it comes through actually softening, and the mind will never ever give us the kind of tools that we need to let go of stuff. The mind cannot do that, but the body can. Only the body can do that. And so some of these practices that we do, and that's why the mat to me now is becoming more and more of the altar, because the mat is a place where we can use the body, we can work with the body to allow these things to release. So we're going to do a little practice tonight that hopefully you can use when these things come up, because the body can release real quick. Energy can move like that. It's the mind that causes all the resistance to it. So shedding skins, this is where we're at the moment. In the wisdom of the snake, shedding is not loss, it is returning to aliveness. A snake does not cling to its cast skins, it leaves them behind as a sign of growth, not regret. So I'm not a reptile person, I'm not a fan of snakes. We do have some here though, actually. We do have some adders in the woods here. But I can remember going to, I don't know if it would be probably the zoo when I was little, where we used to see the skin, the shedding of the skins. So the old skins of outdated beliefs, old emotional patterns that once protected us, but old roles that no longer fit. So we've got to remember that these ways that we carry, these things that we carry, are not things that are bad. They're things that protected us. They've protected us, and so in that way we can kind of, I find it anyway, a lot easier to soften into it, because it's like, oh, this is just it's a protection. It's served me for so long. So the new moon is a ritual of readiness, a moment to notice what feels heavy, dense or stuck, and invite it to transmute rather than eject it with force. So we're just inviting, it's just an invitation to allow this. And what is this teaching me? What has it taught me, and how has it protected me? So the fire horse is a year of boldness. So as we move into fire horse, again, to be our bold selves, to step in, as much as we can in this next few weeks, kind of really look at these areas that maybe if I was to actually bring to the table, maybe I'm not enough. That's really one of the themes for most women, I imagine, is I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as she is down there. I'm not comparison. Or, I'm mean for choosing myself. I'm being selfish because I'm just choosing myself. Whatever that story is, if we can kind of bring that forward, where did we learn that it was selfish to choose ourselves? Where did we learn those things? Is it true? These are lovely questions to ask, just to inquire. So we bring it up to the table. So the Chinese New Year begins on the 17th of February. So that is when this new energy comes in. And the next, which is pretty much on the next new moon. So as we come back around that cycle again, I'm going to work with the moon a bit more as we go through this next few weeks, bringing in the year of the fire horse, a year associated with movement, courage, dynamic change, and forward momentum. Exciting year ahead. I'm really excited for this year ahead. So think of the snake's slow, intentional shedding of old skins, which is where we are now, followed by the fire horse's powerful step into new terrain. The pattern mirrors our own inner alchemy. So I'm sure that everybody here, especially in this last year, but this last 9-year cycle, it's been quite a shedding. I mean, I'm sure everybody has felt that. So we know that we for many of us, we've done the work. We've done a lot of work, I think, over these last few years. And so the new moon becomes an initiation point, a reflective threshold before the onward gallop into the fire horse energy. So when we sit in the dark, we can listen deeply. We can clear what has accumulated and then rise with momentum, clarity, and confidence. This feels really nice, really, really nice. So we've also got so much going on just now. We've also got this transition from the Vata season into Kapha season. So we're going from light. When we come to the end of a season, there is an accumulation of that energy. So Vata is air. So we may be feeling anxious. We may have constipation. We might have cracky joints. So we might have this accumulation in our body of Vata dosha. So Kapha is kind of slowly coming in. That's going to come in with snot. It's like mucus in the body. It's associated with the chest and the lungs. And so again, the lung area and the heart is all where we can hold sadness and grief, but it's also where we can hold joy and playfulness. So we've got these two again, light and shadow. We've got the darkness, the grief, sadness, the stuff that we've maybe not let go of, that we've carried. But then we've also got this invitation to play, to have fun, to balance out. And so as we move into this kind of shift in season, which is also coming in around about the same time. So as we move into Imbolc, this is where the agriculture, I've just seen snowdrops this morning in the woods, which was so lovely to see today. But as we come into this more heavy, more grounded energy, as we come into spring, the vata will, we might have that accumulation. So just being aware of that. And if we do have that accumulation, we might be feeling anxious for no reason, scatty, vata deranged, it's actually called, this vata derangement. Then we can kind of really tap into this new kapha energy that's coming in, that's going to help us to ground a little bit more and nourish. And so we might be still leaning into our root vegetables that will give us earth energy, that will help us to ground as well. And kind of warm, soft, nourishing foods. That's where we want to be at the moment. So we're going to be looking into the kind of qualities now of moisture, heaviness, and but also stability. So we've got that lovely stable energy for this horse to ride on. These lovely energies coming in. So we're going to feel it February through March. The slow qualities of kapha, it can bring that little crossover of that heaviness of winter, so that depression. Depression is quite a symptom of kapha as well. So as we move into the again this particular time now in this new moon, shadow is not darkness to defeat, it is wisdom waiting to be known. So again, the new moon is not emptiness, it is potential resting beneath the surface. It's like the seed, that seed. So just been aware of that. And you may feel that like I've got nothing going on. I doubt that'll be the case. We've all got stuff going on. So the snake is not something to be left behind in shame, it is evidence of growth. So we might want to look at, what do I meet in myself tonight that I can only see in the dark? These parts of ourselves that can only be seen in the dark, that can be loved into integration. So these are these kind of new energies. So as we come into these through the lens of Ayurveda, the deeper theme, this clearing without force, this is feminine form. So we're starting to look at, really also as we bring the habits in on the physical body, we've introduced the hot water and lemon in the morning to help clear the liver. Liver is where we can hold anger. So anger can stagnate in the liver and spleen. So we've added that habit, and that's helping to cleanse and clear any old stuff. We've added in foot massages and that lovely golden milk to soothe and calm the nervous system at night. Maybe adding in, I don't know if anybody takes the magnesium at bedtime, so lovely for nervous system. So you might want to add that in as well. And I add ghee to my turmeric milk. Again, you might want to add coconut oil or an oil. So an oil is nice to add to that as well, just again to soothe the nervous system. So again, we want to feel into this time of year. So if we were to think about hibernation, we're in this last little bit of hibernation, really, still in wintering. And if we were a bear in a cave, we might be just starting to stir a little bit. And, again, as we come out of hibernation, we might still feel that feeling of stagnation and heaviness. So that can be a feeling that we have. And I think I was saying last week about like this this kind of drive forwards in New Year. Oh, we've got to go. But yet our energy's not caught up yet. So we're not kind of in that yet. We're still wintering, really. And so if we feel into stagnation, what is stagnation? It is kind of like if we were to think about a dam in a river, it's where all of the old energy is backed up. So we've got this old energy backed up and the new energy is not quite flowing yet. So what do we, what we work with for that is a little bit of movement. Movement's going to get us going, getting outside, walking, dancing, whatever that is for us. The massages are really good. I'm going to bring the massages in, I think, next week. And so we're going to be looking at, again, starting to boost the digestion. So, getting the belly kind of hiked up a little bit over the next 2 weeks. I think February we've got ginger as our plant ally, a spice ally, which helps to get the digestive system going. But nervous system is the key at the moment. Nervous system is all related to Vata dosha. So this is not a week for extremes. It is a week for tender honesty. To be really, really kind and gentle with ourselves. Okay, so tongue scraping. So we're going to go into this a little bit on lots of different levels. Now, our herby spicy at the moment is our turmeric. And oh my God, I've got to share something really quick as well. So I know a lot of you know my partner's had this massive op, like a really, really life-saving surgery a couple of weeks ago. And this morning he's got 2 big drains in, and this morning they're empty, which means that it's really, really turned a big corner. So yeah, I've been a bit emotional all week. So I'm like, oh my God, this feels like it's worked, and he might get these drains out on Wednesday. So excited about that. It's been quite big. Anyway, that's completely diverted, but I just wanted to, because I know some of you know about it and it's been quite traumatic. So the tongue and the doshas. So how many of you do check your tongue? Does anybody look at their tongue at all, observe it? And yes, some of you do. Some of you know about the tongue. And so there's lots of kind of reference points to the organs and stuff. I don't know them myself. We're still on with that. But I do know that the 3 areas of the tongue which are governed by the doshas. So the tip of the tongue is Vata dosha. And sometimes if we have that scallopy edge to the tongue, that can be that Vata might be a little bit imbalanced. The crack down the middle of the tongue, if you've got a crack down the middle of the tongue, that represents the nervous system. And if you have little cracks on the tip of the tongue, that can represent a bit of, nervous system's a little bit maybe dysregulated. The middle of the tongue is represented by Pitta dosha, so the fire in the body. And the back of the tongue is Kapha dosha. For many of us, we'll have a bit of a white coating on the tongue. I think that's quite normal to have a bit of a white coating on the tongue. But if you notice, if you've had a lot of milk or dairy, you might find that white coating is a lot thicker in the following morning if you've had a lot of dairy. If you're poorly, often that coating can be quite thick as well. So the tip of the tongue represents movement, nerves, breath and mind, all connected, because Vata is all about also the mind. The middle of the tongue, again, this Pitta dosha related to digestion, fire, samana vayu and assimilation. So how we assimilate what we take into the body. And the back of the tongue is mucus, heaviness, accumulation and elimination. So the tongue tells us where energy is gathered. So we're not judging it, we're not making it wrong, we're not going, oh my God, what's going on with my tongue? That's really bad. It's just where energy is accumulated. So we can see that, that the tongue scraping isn't about fixing, it's about restoring flow as we scrape. It's about restoring flow. The tongue is the beginning of the whole digestive system. It's the start of it. And so working with a scraper, how many of you do that already? Does everyone do it already? Yeah, you all do it already. So I'm going to give you a little bit more about the spiritual aspect of why we do it. I've got a copper, I don't know if you can see it, like a copper scraper here. That's like my old-fashioned one that I use. But like Eleanor was saying, I didn't think about that using a spoon. I've got like a funny spoon forky thing that my teacher bought me to massage my feet with, but it looks like an actual, like a fork. I haven't actually used it on my feet yet. And how I do it is I tend to do it in the shower. So I tend to do it while I'm in shower because I do sometimes gag a bit, and that's one of the things. Although I'm sure I was taught that gagging is actually a good thing, as much as it feels awful, because it kind of gets all the stomach juices going. But to start off with, what I'd say if you've not done it before is I'd probably just do literally just the end, just to get a bit desensitized to it, and then you can move further and further back. I tend to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'd do it that way, and then I think between 5 and 7 times. So that tends to be, that's how I was taught to do it. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, rinse. 1, 2, 3, rinse, because it's all quite nasty. It makes me gag just looking at the stuff that comes off my tongue. And that's how I do it. Again, everybody might have a different way. You might have a different way of doing it. Rinse, and then I tend to brush my teeth after that. Now, you can also oil pull as well. So you can also, if you want to do the oil pulling, you can do that as well, where you take the like coconut oil. I prefer sesame oil myself because coconut oil is quite cold. Sesame oil, and you're supposed to keep in your mouth like 20 minutes. I think it's quite a long time to kind of get rid of all of the toxins and stuff. So you can do that as well. Yeah, rinse with warm water. You can put a bit of lemon in there as well, and I think you can clean the tongue scraper with lemon as well. So that was another thing that I learned. The coating on the tongue is said to be amma, which is like this like toxic residue that can be in the body, a bit like plaque, like plaque in the body. So it's kind of represented as that. So tongue scraping, again, will help us to clean off that's built up through the night. We might do some nasal rinsing next week as well, because also if you find that you're a bit snotty on a morning, that tends to be your body's so clever because it creates the snot to trap toxins. So that's why we tend to rinse the nostrils, clean the mouth, all of this. It's because your body is doing what it's meant to do. It's trapping all of this stuff that's harmful into snot and mucus. She's so lovely. Begins to awaken the digestive fire a little bit, and it also prevents toxins from being reabsorbed into the body. So clearing also unprocessed energy. So stuff that we've not processed. And that is quite common because I don't think we're quite brilliant at integrating stuff. We take stuff in, but often it doesn't get kind of assimilated and then released. It kind of gets stuck into the tissues of the body. So spiritually, tongue scraping becomes a release of yesterday's residue. A letting go of emotions, conversations. The tongue is very much associated with our words, our language. Goddess Saraswati is said to sit on the tip of our tongue to guard our words. She is a goddess of our throat chakra. So it's a way of meeting the past without dragging it into today. And each morning you are saying, I do not carry what has already been lived. So this old energy that's passed, I'm not carrying it forward into this day that will never come again. So we start that day with a new, clean, fresh start. So the tongue is a threshold of truth. It is associated to the Vishuddha Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra. So in yoga subtle anatomy, the tongue is intimately connected to Vishuddha, the center of truth, expression, and integrity. So when the tongue is coated, expression can be blocked, communication can feel heavy or unclear, and truth can be muted or withheld. So spiritually, scraping the tongue clears the pathway of expression, supports speaking from clarity rather than accumulation, and aligns inner truth with outer voice. So this is why many people notice a clearer thinking and presence after the practice. So through the tantric lens, the act of consciousness release, from the tantric perspective, tongue scraping is a daily ritual of non-attachment. So you're not rejecting the body, you're listening to it. The slow intention action teaches release does not require force. Awareness is enough to initiate change. Small acts done with presence carry great power. So the beginning of the day starts empty, receptive and clear. And spiritually, this new day is a blank scroll. So all of these things that we do early in the morning are saying this is a new beginning, it's a new day, it's a fresh start. So we're not carrying all the old energy into the day with us. So when done slowly with breath and intention, tongue scraping becomes a devotional act. I honour my body's intelligence, I clear what no longer serves, and I choose presence over accumulation. This is spiritual hygiene, just as sacred as meditation. So hopefully I've sold it to you all and given you a little bit of a different perspective on it as well. So this week also was to add some more turmeric into food, getting it into, the teas, into the soups, adding a bit of black pepper to activate that. Black pepper activates turmeric. And the other thing I didn't say, I might have said, I don't know if I did, that was about nutmeg. So if you put nutmeg on your milk, nutmeg is a sedative. It's actually, what's the word now? I can't remember the word now. It'll come back to me. More than a sedative. I can't remember what the word is. Like a tranquilizer. It's like that, I think. So it's quite good. Okay. Anyone got any questions? You all taking that in? It's like a lesson, isn't it? Hopefully I'm selling it to you though. All right, so we're going to go into a session to thumbs up. That's a good sign, Maggie. Thank you. So I want to talk a little bit about the belly now and the Samana Vayu, so across the belly here. So Samana Vayu, we've got 5 different energies in the body, and they're actually called the 5 winds. And Samana Vayu, if I stand up, is an energy that moves like this across the body. This is how it moves. So it's like the chewing, the sort of chewing, assimilating energy of the belly. So all of the things we take in is not about food. Digestion is not just about food. It's how we digest life. It's everything. So everything that comes in through our senses, the things we hear, the things we see, the things we smell, the things we eat, everything has got to be assimilated, digested, integrated, and let go of. Now, often, especially with emotional energy, it comes in and it stays in. It doesn't get assimilated. We get pissed off with somebody down the street. It sits in the body. We don't let it go. We hang on to it forever. And then it lodges into the body. And so the Samana Vayu is this area that will help us to digest, assimilate, and then we use Apana Vayu, which is downward movement of energy, to let go of it. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit with this in some movement on the mat. And so twisting the body is the best way to activate this energy, this assimilating, this digesting. So we're going to be working with that, because the belly is kind of like the center of our universe. When we talk about being situated in who we are, it's the belly. We're situated, we're centered right in the belly. And so if the belly's full of old undigested shit that we're hanging on to, then there's nowhere to get centered in. It's all kind of clogged up and, stagnant, old stagnant energy. So it's a really good thing to move the body, to allow this energy to come to the surface. And you might have something that you really like, oh, I need to let go of this shit. I'm sick to death of running this same old story. I was there a couple of years ago, like, I'm sick of this bloody stuff. I'm not enough. I'm sick to death of running this old thing. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. All this stuff. And so we can bring that to this practice, and we can let ourselves release it if we want to. We don't have to, or surrender it, or whatever you want to use word. I love the word surrender at the moment. It feels like release has got you have to do something to release, whereas surrender's like just lay back. You get to that point where you just can't do anymore. You just lean back into it. And so that surrender word, I like the idea of that. So we're going to go into a little bit of movement to allow us to, again, just really work with this, clearing what stagnates. And then we're going to go into a nice floor-based practice as well. That, again, we're going to go into some lying twist. We're going to go into some nice stretches, just to allow the body to kind of ease and release and relax. And so it's in this relaxation, which is why this idea of nervous system regulation is so important, because the more relaxed and calm we are, the more the nervous system is calm, the more easeful it is to let go of some of this stuff. We're not so stressed. We can just lean back a little bit. We can let life just carry us. And I think this is where the horse is. The horse medicine is freedom. That's what it is. And that's what all of these traditions teach, moksha, to be free. To be free to be who we want to be ourselves. That's all we ever want to do. So we're never adding on, we're never layering on, we're actually stripping back to actually all of the stories that we've been told of who we are. So we allow ourselves to be a little bit more in, just to be ourselves, however that is, and it be enough, and it be okay, and we're not going to get in trouble for it. Those of you that are rebels when you were like my root vulnerability, I guess, is I'm wrong, and I'm in trouble, because most of my life have been in trouble. So that has been like a theme that's run through my whole life and been tiny little. And so this idea of being in trouble triggers my nervous system. Oh my God, what if I'm in trouble, this kind of thing. So just running that story and kind of being ready to let go of that is quite lovely. And I'm still on with it. It's still a work in progress. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of twisting movement, and we're going to bring that into the belly. So I'm just going to put my light on, because I'm going to go on my mat now. So you might want to pin me up to your screen so you can actually see. And you can do that by just pushing on the three little buttons on the corner of my screen, and then it'll say pin to screen, and then you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, don't know if I've done that. I've done that. So we're going to go into this gentle twisting movement. Again, I'm not pushing or forcing anything. I just want to go into just some really gentle movement, and then I'm going to bring us into a little bit of release with that as well. I'm just going to put light on so you can see. And you can do this sitting if you prefer. You don't have to do it standing. I'm going to just do it I'm just going to do it standing for now. All right, good. So let's have our feet a bit wide apart, because I like her to have a bit of width to the base, so that you've got that feeling of being really grounded. So just having the knees soft. Again, we're working with energy, so we want the knees soft. Can you hear music all right? So we're going to go a little bit with the music if we can, but again, if you're just listening yourself. So feet a bit wider than a bit wider than hip width. You can either have your hands on your belly, or we can have the hands kind of as if you're holding a ball between your hands at the front. Okay, so we're just going to start a little twist from side to side. Now take a nice deep breath in, and then breathe out a bit like a little bit of force out of your nose. So breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So we're just going to move side to side in this way. So we're just twisting the belly. So in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, in, out, in, out. And again, if you want to have hands on hips, you can have the hands on the shoulders as well. You can do it that way. But the main thing is keeping the knees soft, so you're not twisting the knees. Pelvis is quite steady. We're just twisting the belly. And again, you might have that feeling of this samana vayu, just gently, again, just integrating and just removing any stagnation around that belly. So just in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. And just gently activating the belly bonfire. And just feeling into that activation. You might start after a little while, you might just start to feel a bit of heat in the belly. And then you might have to actually also just start to have a little awareness of what is an old story, maybe, habit, belief that you want to let go of, you want to release. And just let it be. It's a bit like we've just been doing about Goddess Lakshmi in training last weekend, and we're talking about this churn in the Milky Ocean. And how when the Milky Ocean was churned, all of the poison was brought up to the surface first. And we can see these old beliefs like poison that do poison our system, really. Good. Now from here, just going to come back to center. I'm going to take a breath in and just scoop up as if you're just bringing up anything that you're ready to let go of. We're going to bring it up on the in-breath, and then as you breathe out, we're going to push down, take it down to earth, soften through the knees. Now we're going to take the arms overhead, nice deep breath in, and then just release it out, just like you're just creating a bit more space as you release it. Okay, so we're going to come back to the twisting. Again, twist side to side. Just churning the inner world, and then come back to center, breathe in, just draw that up, send it down to earth again, just for that composting. Breathe it in as you come overhead, and then breathe it out as you release. Lovely. Just going to do that a couple more times. So again, just churning side to side, just moving that samana vayu, that integrating energy. Again, if you want to use the breath, you can use a little bit of breath of fire if you want a bit more heat there. And again, we're going to come back to center, breathe in, just bringing it up. Breathe out, again, just release into the earth. Breathe in, bring some new fresh energy in. And then breathing out again, just feel the spaciousness around the belly. And then one more time, just gently twist. You can do this anytime. If anything's coming up that you're feeling into, like, oh, that old story again, that old pattern again, that reaction again, that trigger again, whatever it is, you can just go through these little movements. And then last time, I'm going to breathe in, bring it up to surface, bring it to the table, breathe it out, release to the earth, surrender down, and then breathe in. Just take the arms up, nice deep breath there, and then just gently breathe it out, letting go, and really just feeling that spaciousness. Just have a little shake out, just shake everything down, like you're just clearing off. And then we'll just have a little bit of a tap. So just tapping the body now, across the chest. I think we might have done this last week, I can't remember. Across the chest, just again, just creating that little tapping feeling. If you want to hum, you can hum as well. And just working with the, you know, the nervous system as well. Maybe down the arms. You might want to take that around the belly, around the back, and then down the legs. And then just having a nice little shake down. Good. Is everybody okay? Let me check everyone. You all right? Yeah, we're going to come on the floor now. So we're just going to move into a few nice grounded practices now. So we're going to come into Balasana squat to start with. And if you want to have a bolster, in fact, actually, maybe we'll have the bolster. So if you've got like a little stool or a few cushions, we're just going to sit onto them, and then just letting yourself come into this so good for Apana Vayu is this one. So this one is really great for letting go and coming down. It's going to send energy down into earth. So if you also, as you're holding that pose, bring in Apana Mudra. So the thumb and the middle two fingers touch and the other two fingers point out. So this is going to, again, just bring that downward movement of energy now. If you feel like you want to be in without support, you can, but just going to take the knees wide and just hold this mudra. You can take the gaze down towards the earth. And again, just with each out breath, just feeling that any stagnation just begins to soften. And then an affirmation here: I trust my body to release what is no longer needed. I trust my body to release what is no longer needed. So you can just feel as if you're just releasing down to the earth. If you want to come off the bolster, you can move this as well. So if you wanted to just bring a little bit of that movement in, you can do that as well. So again, if you feel you want to just get a bit deeper into the hips, hips store a lot of old energy as well. So again, you might just feel that you want to move it a bit. Okay, good. And now just, again, just feeling into that openness to surrender, to let go. Just a willingness to let go. And just inviting that softness down into the hips, into the earth. And then just taking your last 3 breaths there. Again, just focusing on that out, down movement to earth. And then we're going to come off the hips. I'm going to sit back and we'll just have a gentle windshield wiper. So just taking the knees gently side to side again, just letting go into the hips again, just creating that spaciousness around the hips and pelvis. Hips are very interesting. The tight hips can really signal like control. All the control freaks in the house, myself included. Hips can be a little storehouse for that. Lovely. And then from here, just going to come onto all fours. And we'll just come into a nice sassy cat. So if you bring the toes tucked under, and we'll just take the weight back to stretch, and then just take some nice circles, a little bit of sass. You can take that into a rounding up through the spine, but just let yourself move in a way that feels good. Just really releasing through the spine. Again, just be aware of the belly. And then as you come into cat-cow, we're going to breathe in and then breathe out and just draw the navel in towards the spine. Again, just really connecting in with the belly. In breath again as you open. And then again, out breath to release. And if you want to take some nice circular movements, again, just creating that nice feeling of fluidity in the body. So we're just signaling to the body, we're not holding on to anything. We're just being really free with the movement and just letting the body do what it loves to do, which is to move. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to just come over onto our back. And we're going to move into a lying twist, but we're going to do that with the breath. And I'm going to just take that nice and slowly. So coming onto your back. And again, please look after your body. So if you have got any lower back issues, any recent surgery, anything in the belly, be very careful. You can actually use a bolster at the side just to rest your knees on if that's if that's needed. But I'm just going to bring the feet to the width of my mat. And I'm going to take my arms wide. So again, if you've got any shoulder issues, you might want to keep the hands a bit closer to the body. But we're just going to begin like a moving meditation by breathing in here, just in the center. And then as we breathe out, we're going to take the knees to the left and the head is going to look to the right as you breathe out. Then we're going to breathe in as you bring the knees to center, the head to center. And then we're going to breathe out as the knees go to the right and the head goes to the left. Breathe in as the head and the knees come back to center. And then breathe out as the head goes one way, the knees go the opposite way. And then once you've got that movement going, you can just close your eyes and just let your awareness center in the belly. So we can begin to connect into this Samana Vayu. Again, just feeling that gentle twist. And then we're going to come back to center. Now, I'm going to bring the knees in towards my chest And then I'm going to let the knees just come across to my left side. Now, again, if you're finding that is too painful or it's just not feeling good, then we're going to have a bolster here. You might want to go back to where we were a minute ago. The head is going to look away from where the knees are. And then we're going to just drop in there. So we're going to hold this posture. And we're just going to breathe. So, as you hold in the pose, again, just feeling into this place in which we are. So, lying twist, the medicine of the center. So, as you bring your awareness to the belly as center, as we come into this twist, we notice how the body naturally finds its center point. So as you breathe, you'll find your attention may be drawn to the belly. It might be drawn also around the hip area, but just feel into where your attention lies. Now, what I love about this pose is we are held between two worlds. Behind you is the past, all that has already been lived, learned, and released. In front of you is the future, unwritten, unknown, and not yet required of you. So we lie in this place between worlds, centered in the present moment. So right here in the center of the body is the only place that you were ever truly asked to be. So the twist reminds us that we do not need to look back to understand, and we do not need to lean forwards to prepare. The wisdom lives in the now, in the quiet place where the breath meets the spine. Again, just allowing your breath to be slow and steady. Again, just let that twist kind of unwind. It's like a spiral energy that happens in the twist. Be aware of the internal organs in the body softening. The digestion is gently wrung out and then soothed. So nothing is being forced to leave. We are simply creating space and trusting that what no longer belongs will release in its own time. Going to very, very gently, just taking our last 3 breaths there, going to bring the knees very, very slowly back to center. And then again, just very, very gently rocking, just side to side like the cradle. This idea that the nervous system needs to be tended like a baby. So when we come into cradle pose, the nervous system is loving this. So again, we're just very, very gently cradling ourselves, being our own support, our own holding. And then from there, you might want to just let the legs release into Shavasana for a moment. And again, just notice the difference. The difference between the two sides. And just notice what's moved. If you might feel like there's a bit more space around the belly. And we're just going to very slowly just walk the knees back into the chest. Give a little hug, and then just place the feet again, maybe just onto the floor, and we'll just go back to that gentle movement where we just let the knees rock to one side, the head to the other. So we're going to breathe into the center, and then breathe out, let the knees rock towards the floor, the head looks in the opposite direction. In breath again, center. And then out breath to the twist. So just starting to activate again that Samana Vayu, center of digestion, integration. And then we can either stay with that with the knees to one side, or if you want to go a little deeper, you can bring the knees into the chest and then let the knees drop over to the opposite side. So wherever you were last time, we're going to go to the opposite side. And again, once you're there, you can just breathe and hold. And again, just let your body soften here. Just imagine that the center of your body is becoming clear and warm, balanced and steady. We're just allowing the body to rest while that change occurs, without drama, without force. So the new moon holds you in the dark, where release happens naturally when it is ready. So as we rest here, we trust the intelligence of our body. And just allowing that out breath to just carry away any old stagnant energy. Again, we're just allowing the organs to soften. The nervous system begins to trust the present moment. Again, we just entered into this place in between, held between two worlds. Behind you is the past and all that has already been lived, learned and released. And in front is the future, unwritten, unknown, and nothing is required of you yet. Just taking that last 3 breaths, we're going to bring the knees gently back to center. And again, just coming back into that cradle again. Just gently rock from side to side. And just sending that lovely signal to the nervous system. We're just creating space and trusting that what no longer belongs here will release. And wisdom lives in the now, in the quiet place where the breath meets the spine. So just really allowing that gentle movement to soothe the nervous system, just bringing it back into that regulated place. I'm just going to move into our Shavasana now for a nice gentle relaxation. So you can either have the legs up on the sofa, you might want to have the knee supported with a bolster. You might want to be covered with a blanket. You might want some a cover on your eyes as well.
Safe to surrender now. Safe to remember how.
Again, just finding that place of comfort and ease. Ease, my word of the year.
Safe to remember how. I release what is
Just really
not
connecting to the breath and just feeling that out breath. Just gently easing and soothing. I like to think about this idea that as you breathe in, you might want to repeat to yourself the word steady. And then as you breathe out, the word ease. Steady on the in-breath, and then ease on the out-breath. And just allowing that gravity to just gently draw you down. And the nervous system, and again, this idea of really surrendering to life. We know that life will always carry us where we're meant to go. The blueprint of our lives is already created for us.
Take me back home again.
So as you allow the body to fully settle now, nothing to do, nowhere to go, and just bring your awareness to your belly. You might want to just pop your hands on your belly. Center of digestion, of emotion, and of instinct. And just imagine in the belly a warm golden light resting there. Not moving yet, just present. This light does not push anything away. It simply warms what has been stagnant, like honey slowly loosening. Again, as you feel into that, just feel into, is there any heaviness, any fog or residue in the body or heart? And just allow it to melt with this light. No effort, no fixing. With each exhale, just allowing anything that no longer serves you to leave quietly, without drama, without force. As we feel into these last few moments together, as you rest here, trust the intelligence of your body. Just really beginning to feel into this essence of just carrying only what truly belongs to you. So we just honour the quiet work that has been done, and that not all release is visible. Not all change announces itself, and some shifts happen deep within, where the digestion and the breath and the soul meet. And just closing with this lovely blessing. May what was ready to leave have been gently wrung free. May what remains feel lighter, clearer, and more true. Like the new moon, you do not need to shine to be powerful. From the center of your body, you are already enough. Carry forward only that which nourishes you, and let the rest stay behind, complete, honored, and finished. May you walk on steady in your center, open to what is becoming, and rooted in the wisdom of now. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Beginning to just very, very gently deepen your breath, and maybe just taking a stretch, maybe a rock, and whatever feels nice for you. And if you want to stay there for a bit longer, by all means, please do that. Just allowing yourself just to take whatever you need from this practice. And if you are awake, we're going to just come very, very gently back to circle. If you're not awake, night night. Are we all okay? Is everyone all right? Hopefully you'll sleep nice tonight. And hopefully you learned a little bit. And I'm going to put, when I do the video, when I put it all together, I'll put all the stuff about the spiritual tongue scraping stuff. I'll put it into the group as well, so you've got all that too. Is everybody okay? Do you feel a bit wrung out? Hopefully. Lovely. So next week we're in a waxing moon, and I think we'll be coming to the end of the first 4 weeks of our container. And so we'll start in February again. Very peaceful, good. And keep dancing, keep shaking, keep twisting, keep scraping. That actually nearly rhymes. Keep drinking the water. So as we layer in the habits, we want to keep the old habits going. We kind of just don't do 1 week and then like drop that off. So we're trying not to drop them off the shelf, but we will keep coming back to them again anyway. So we get them anchored in. So we've got the water, we've got the foot massages, we've got the tongue scraping now. So just layering that in this week, and we'll see you all next week. Which song? Oh, the surrender. Oh my God, I'm addicted to that song at the minute. I am playing it on repeat constantly. I'll put it in the group. It's called Divine Surrender. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah, I'll put it in the group. It's so lovely. So yeah, and I'll see you all next week. I love you. Night night. See you soon. Bye, my lovelies. Take care. Night night. Sleep well. Bye.